Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you my everyday makeup drawer video for October. So in these videos I always just go through my makeup collection and pick out older products that I want to rediscover for the month, or show you guys some new products that I just got or am just testing out that I put aside in a separate drawer and use throughout the month, and then let you guys know my thoughts about them. And I'll also share the products I picked out in September and what I thought about them. So if you guys want to see all the products I'm going to be choosing for my everyday makeup drawer for October, then just keep on watching. Alright, so going through everything in my drawer for September, there was a lot in here that I shared in my favorites video, and a lot of like kind of newer products. So starting off with foundation and primer. So the Stellar Beauty foundation, I wore this all the time. I would just wear this or my Too Faced Born This Way pretty much all of September. I really love this foundation. It's really nice coverage. It's very skin-like. It stays in place all day. Like, it's just like an overall really awesome foundation. So really enjoy this. I've been reaching for this like pretty much non-stop all month. And then also the primer I've been enjoying as well. This is like a silicone based primer, but it's also not slippery or greasy, so it's pore filling, and it's also illuminating a primer, which I really like too. So I like using those together. And then basically a lot of things I didn't end up using because like I never used my Hourglass foundation, so I think I'm actually going to keep it in here for the month because I was just reaching for the Stellar Beauty foundation more than anything. I didn't use the primer from Smashbox. This is the hydrating primer, so I'm going to keep that in here as well. I actually did end up using the Hourglass Marrow Veil a whole lot this month as well. It's really just like an overall good primer. It's hydrating, it's pore filling. I like it. I used to be obsessed with it, but I feel like now that I love like the Smashbox Primerizer, the Origins Primer, the First Aid Beauty Primer, just primers that are a bit more hydrating than this one. This one is like slightly hydrating, but not as much as those. It's not my favorite, but it's still good. I just have so many other favorites that I would choose over that one. Even the Smashbox one I like, but I just didn't get a chance to use it. And I did actually use this primer almost all the way up, the No Problem Primer from Touch in Sol. I really loved this. Like, I will be willing to buy this in a full size at the next VIB sale. It was awesome. It's actually way more hydrating than a lot of primers, and it's also pore filling, and a lot of pore filling primers aren't that hydrating. So really enjoyed this for sure. I got this like in an Ipsy, I think, last month. I have like maybe one more use out of it, but I used it pretty often throughout the month. And I didn't really use much else from this little container. I'm still trying to use up my Pro Glow Infallible Concealer from L'Oreal and my Maybelline Fit Me. They just have been taking me forever. I keep my ColourPop No Filter powder in here just because I reach for it quite often. I really like that powder for like under my eyes. And I didn't end up using the dewy stick from Ciate. I think I just kind of got over dewy makeup later in the month. I've been into more like matte looks. So I will probably, I don't know, maybe I'll keep this in here just so I use it a little bit more. Then this is the 24 karat serum from Physicians Formula. I used it a couple times, but I didn't feel like it really made that big of a difference with my skincare when I was using it, so I was almost kind of just using it to use it. So I don't really have any strong opinions about that. I didn't end up using my Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. I've just been like really bad about cream contouring lately. I just keep forgetting to do it. Like, I set my powder and then I remember that I wanted to use cream contour and it's too late. And then basically everything back here I used a ton. My Born to Run palette I love. My Anastasia palette I was using quite often as well. This is just like the original contour kit. The Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This one is the Ring the Alarm palette. I actually really like this palette. I know a lot of people have gotten like bad palettes, so I don't feel like comfortable recommending it because the formula has been inconsistent, but my palette is good, the formula is good, and I enjoyed it. But let me know if you guys got any of the palettes from the Morphe Vault collection. Let me know if you got like a good palette or a bad palette, because I know they were kind of inconsistent. I did end up using my highlighter palette from Cover FX. I really do like this, but it's not the most intense highlighter ever, so it's kind of like an everyday palette. Mine is just broken, that's why it looks all messed up. And then I use this bronze duo from Charlotte Tilbury. This bronzer is so pretty. This is the Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is just the deeper one. I really love this bronzer, but I didn't use it as much as my Becca bronzer. That is what I used all the time this month. I talked about this in my favorites, and I've been using it literally every single day, basically, since I got it. This is Becca Capri Coast. Love the formula. Love the shade, love like everything about it. I definitely recommend the Becca bronzers. The formula is amazing. The Hourglass eyeshadow and Reflect, I am definitely gonna get probably all of them because I just love this formula. This would be my go-to lid color. I would use like the Jaclyn Hill palette or the Born to Run palette and then use this as my lid color basically most days this month. I'm still loving the blush duo from Kiko Cosmetics. Really a big fan of this formula and the shades. This is the duo in Silky Rose and Mauve. And then the Oprah Blissful Highlighter I love as well. I didn't even use this Makeup Geek product. This is a Makeup Geek bronzer. I didn't use it at all, so I was just really into the Becca bronzer, and I didn't end up using one of the shimmers from Pixi. This is their Liquid Fairy Lights, and this one's in Rose Gold, so I think I'm just gonna keep it in here for the month because I've just been so obsessed with that Hourglass eyeshadow. That's been like kind of my go-to if I want something a little bit more dramatic on my lid. But that's basically everything in here. I just messed everything up, but that's basically everything in here. I just keep some lip products that I want to use more. That's just what I'm gonna keep on doing because it's hard for me to like rotate through my lip products. So I'm trying to be realistic and not really pick out new ones, especially if I get some new ones sent throughout the month too. But yeah, that is everything that I picked out for September. I'm gonna go ahead, clear this out, and then move into products for October. All right, so starting off with my eyeliners, mascara, and like random product drawer. Oh, I want to try out this new brow pencil from ColourPop. This is the Precision Brow Pencil. I haven't actually tried this one yet. They sent another one that I've been testing out as well, and I actually really like it. They just reformulated their brow products. And then also I have this mascara. Well, I have a bunch of mascaras open right now, but this one specifically from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Legendary Lashes Mascara. I've been using it a little bit, but I don't want to forget that I have it open in my collection, especially because it is like a higher end mascara. So I'm going to pull that out as well. And then everything else I rotate through pretty frequently. Like I love my Bad Girl Bang mascara from Benefit. This CoverGirl mascara is actually awesome. The Flourish mascara. But everything else I reach in here quite a bit throughout the month. So that's gonna be it for like specific products from that drawer. And then moving into blushes, bronzers, highlighters. I'm definitely doing a declutter this month. I didn't get a chance to last month. I just got like caught up with a bunch of like new makeup releases, but I want to declutter this and make it like half as much of what I have in my collection. But let's see. Okay, I'm gonna pull out this Charlotte Tilbury blush just because I'm gonna forget about it otherwise. This is gorgeous. It's in the shade First Love. It's one that's like super popular. It's just like a very neutral blush. I also want to pick up the shade Pillow Talk. It's like a new blush, but I definitely want to use this one a bit more. And I'm also gonna pull out this blush and Call Me Blush by Bare Minerals. I was using this all the time last winter, and I haven't used it since. So I wanted to pick this out for the month. I love mauvey, like darker tones for like fall and winter. This is just like what the blush looks like. So I'm gonna pull that out as well. And then other than that, I'm really gonna be using like Toasted Cinnamon from Burt's Bees because that's my holy grail. And oh, this bronzer from Too Faced. This is the Sun Bunny bronzer. It's like a warm bronzer. It's almost like a bronzer blush situation. I usually have this in my travel makeup bag. I don't know why. And I only travel like once a year, so this I don't use as often as I want to. I need to test it out a bit more. I'm a little hesitant about it because it's like a little bit orangey, it seems like.
But I don't know, I just need to use it a bit more, give myself a break from the Becca bronzer, even though I don't want to, but I need to definitely test that bronzer out a bit more. So this is actually a loose powder from Stellar Beauty. This should be in my powder drawer, honestly, but it was just in the back of my collection because I just got this from them and I need to test it out more because I've been using the Laura Mercier powder, the Glow powder, every single day, and this is kind of like a similar product, but I think it's a little bit more shimmery, so I need to start using this and see how I like it compared to the Laura Mercier powder. I think it's kind of more similar to that Lancome Absolute powder, like the all over face powder that has like a really nice glow to it. And then I kind of want to pull out Anastasia Fawn. Yeah, I know I said I'm like never, I'm trying to be like realistic, and I know I don't cream contour very often, like ever, but I used to be so obsessed with this, and I had to use this every single day for like a solid year. So if I pull out like my favorite cream contour product, maybe that will get me back in the habit of like cream contouring when I'm doing like a full look. And then let's see, I feel like there's a lot of like random highlighters in here. Let's pull out like one of the Jouer ones. Actually, let me go ahead and just pull out my favorite. I know that might be like a little bit boring because it is my favorite and I know it, but I have really not used anything but Persona Cosmetics or my Amrezy highlighter. Like anytime I put a highlighter in my everyday makeup drawer, I use it like once or twice, and then I go back to my Persona Cosmetics one because that formula is amazing. So let me pull out like an old staple. Like you guys can see how dented this is because I loved it so much, and I feel like if I use something that I already know that I love, maybe it'll get me in like a better habit of not using the Persona one every day, especially because I hit serious pan on that highlighter. Let me show you guys. So this is what my Persona Cosmetics highlighter looks like right now. So I'm gonna run out of it sooner or later, so I just wanna add some variety back into my highlighter life. Ooh, let me go back into Maybelline. I still need to pick up more shades, but Molten Gold, this one is beautiful, and I feel like it's like a really pretty color for fall, like more of a gold intense shade. Love the formula, love the pigmentation of these highlighters, like best from the drugstore for sure. These and e.l.f.'s are my favorite from the drugstore, but this is a bit more intense than like the e.l.f. highlighters. Oh, I also have another palette. I'll pull that out in my face palette drawer. There's a new e.l.f. palette, but that's gonna be everything for this drawer. All right, so here is my foundation drawer. I wanna get back into my NARS foundation because I clearly loved this for a long time, and ever since I got like the Too Faced Born This Way, like I have basically just been using that. So I want to definitely use this more throughout the month. And then maybe one more foundation. Let me get back into maybe this Peach Perfect foundation because I'm so obsessed with the Dewy Skin and Born This Way, and I haven't used this in a really long time, partially because this is just like a little bit pink on me, like it's a little too cool tone. So I'm paranoid about wearing it for filming, like if my foundation looks off, but I actually do love the formula. So I'm gonna start using this again. If it's a completely, I don't think the shade is like super off or anything, but I just remember like, I don't know, I wore it in a video once like a year ago and it looked a little bit pink and it made me paranoid ever since. But I know that I love the formula, and if the shade bothers me, I'm totally just gonna pick it up in a different shade because I think they actually expanded the shades of those. And then these are two concealers I definitely need to test more throughout the month. The new Cover FX Power Play Concealer. I really have been liking it so far. I just need to test it out more because I've been super into, like I just got the new Jouer concealer, ColourPop I've been loving, First Aid Beauty I've been loving. I've just been testing out a lot. So this shade in G Medium 1 is a really good match for me. And then this is the Stellar Beauty concealer. It's like a full coverage concealer, but I've only used it like 2 or 3 times, so I need to test that out more. And then for primer, I'm gonna pull out this e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I know that I really like this primer. It actually is kind of similar to the Hourglass primer, but I feel like it does a better job at like actually filling your pores. So this is actually an awesome primer, and I don't want to forget about it in my collection because even like stuff that I love kind of gets lost in here. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1 primer. This used to be my holy grail primer, and I have not used it in forever, honestly. This is like a very hydrating primer. It's something like I'll use this as a first step, and then I'll go in like with my T-zone with this primer to fill my pores. So I think that's gonna be an awesome primer combination. And then I really don't use this enough. This is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. I got this like 6 months ago at the last VIB sale, and I barely use this because the formula still weirds me out a little bit. Like, it feels wet on your face when you apply it, and then it dries completely matte. It's not actually wet, it just feels like cooling, which just weirds me out sometimes. But I definitely need to use this more because it was a very pricey powder, and basically since I got my Laura Mercier powder, I have just been sticking to that. So I'm gonna test this out a bit more, see if I like it specifically with like certain foundations or certain looks. All right, so we have a special guest now in this video, apparently. Excuse me, I'm trying to film a video. Thank you. Okay, so moving into eyeshadows. I know exactly what I'm picking out because I put them specifically here. So Gingerbread Spice for sure. And I already know I love this palette. And then I actually just got a new Natasha Denona palette, which you guys will see a review of very soon. But in addition to that, I also got this scent from CoverGirl like a month ago, and I haven't had a chance to use this yet. It looks really pretty. Like, I really like these shades. This is the Peach Punch palette. It took me so many tries to try to say that right. But this looks so pretty for fall, and I've had it for weeks, but because I've been reviewing so many eyeshadow palettes lately, I haven't even had a chance to open it at all yet. So I'm really excited to finally use that. Also, Rimmel sent over this palette. This is like basically like a pumpkin spice palette. And I don't really know if I know much about their formula in a lot of their products. So I'm gonna test this out. It has a lot of like really warm shades. It kind of reminds me of like the Naked Heat palette, which I have back there, but I feel like this is really similar like color scheme. So definitely gonna try this out as well. And then lastly, just getting into face palettes. So this is the new e.l.f. Modern Metals face palette. I have been liking this so far. This is a really pretty brand new palette. It's like $10 or $12. I love this blush. I've been wearing it all week, and I've been wearing this highlighter. Let me swatch them for you guys so you can see like the formula, because I just really love e.l.f. highlighters in general. They're kind of like an natural everyday kind of highlighter look. It's not like super intense, but really like the formula because it's not powdery, it's pigmented, and it's creamy, and it looks like very natural on your skin. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of your skin. So I've been wearing this palette a lot this week, and I've been liking it so far. I do recommend it if you guys are curious about it, and especially if you like more of that like natural highlighter look. It still shows up on your face for sure, but it's not like intense like an Ofra highlighter or something. So if you want like an everyday blush and highlighter palette, this is really awesome, and it's I think $10 or $12, so it's definitely affordable too. And I think that's gonna be it for face palettes. I've been using this so much, the Kevyn Aucoin Volume 3 sculpting palette. I'm not even gonna put it in my drawer because I reach for this naturally, that I need to like stop myself from using it because the palette is awesome, the formula is awesome. And then you guys will see more about face palettes very soon because I will include that in a upcoming declutter. I literally want to keep 5 palettes from all of this. I will donate the rest basically. So maybe a little bit more than 5, but I at least need to clear out half of this collection because it's just too much. Like these Smashbox palettes, I kept them basically for like sentimental reasons, but I'm not attached to them anymore. The Naked palette, the new one, I don't want this anymore. Like I didn't like the formula, but that is gonna be everything for face palettes, just that one palette from e.l.f. Alright guys, so this is gonna be everything for my drawer for October. A lot of like fall tones and like mauves and orangey toned eyeshadow palettes and stuff. Really loving the Gingerbread palette for sure, and I'm excited to try out the other 2 drugstore palettes that I've been putting off for a couple weeks, and I'm finally going to be able to test them out. I'm sure there's going to be some other new releases throughout the month that I'll be sharing soon as well. And yeah, that's going to be everything for this month. Let me know what you guys are testing out for the month in the comments, or if you picked up anything recently in the comments, let me know that too. And if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.